is, if you ask me, the best library I ever learned in my Python career path, Panda. So Panda is one of the open source library. So the story starts like this way. R programming, R programming is one of the statistic programming. Statistics means those who are going for data analysis. Up to 2017, only people were looking R programming. Even myself, I studied R programming. I studied around 2012, and then I started using it because I was doing more Java J2E, Hadoop, and R programming because more visualizations. R programming was very popular. But in 2017, they introduced Pandas library in Python, Pandas library in Python. And then if you see that R and Python, if I draw the graph, right, this is like time graph, right? Up to 2017, this is R was going this way, right? But in 2017, Python introduced Pandas library, and Python went like this. So Python crossed R actually, which is unbelievable. R programming was in the industry for 20 plus years. Python came in 3 years. It means Python was there, but Pandas came in 3 years and overtook. So if you ask me now, they both are kind of comparable, but Pandas is very popular. So in your interview, rest assured, people will ask you lots of Panda related questions. Make sense? So it's very important that you understand how library works. Now, what is library means? Library means bunch of program. In our case, Python, if you remember, we studied two concepts, module and objects. So library has a bunch of modules and bunch of objects, which we are using it. So library make life easy. You don't have to understand in and out. You just use it. So example, if I give you a calculator, you don't need to know how circuit works. You just use it. So Pandas is like that. Along with Panda, they introduce also matplot library, map plot library. So you can draw nice, beautiful graph, nice, beautiful graph. And along with that, there are hundreds of libraries they introduce. Now there is a problem. Problem is library installation is a pain. Library installation is a pain. So for that, there is a one interesting thing is called Anaconda. So Anaconda is a company who came up with IDE. The IDE which we are going to use is Anaconda. In your library, sorry, in your resume, you should write that because Anaconda library, Anaconda comes with 100 plus library by default. It means you don't have to install, which is kind of good because I used to do ideally. And ideally, if you do, I was spending days to install library and sometimes doesn't work. The Anaconda came in a very nice way. They came up with all data analysis library right away in your fingertip. So you don't have to install. Though there are some new library, which we will install, but I would say 90% library will be pre-installed. So when you go for real life, people normally going to use Spyder or IPython. I stands for interactive and P stands for Python, IPython. IPython is nothing but you write a command and you see the result. You write a command and you can see result. This IPython is heavily used for Databricks. So you might see the word Databricks. Databricks is heavily using IPython, but IPython heavily use Pandas and NUM and all. So whatever you know here, if you know this, you can easily work in Databricks also. So some of you, when you apply for a job, you may be seeing Databricks, you may be seeing Python, you will be seeing analytics, statistics, all. You can be qualified if you can spend some time. Now, no matter what you learn in training is not going to be enough. So you have to push yourself and do the project. So in this forum, we do have a project, but again, as I said before, this topic is infinite, right? Whatever you're going to learn now, which will give you, I would say, easy language, 80% foundation in less than 2 weeks, 80%. What that mean? Whatever I have done in like 10 plus years, you can learn in 2 weeks because it's a repetition. But then our additional thing you do is the library. So example, if you are having iPhone and I have iPhone, most of the people what use the, I think you can call, you can take a picture, you can listen, you can text. Those are things you can learn in 10 or 20 minutes because there's nothing special. But iPhone may have great features, some hard button, something which lifetime I don't know, and I will not need. So what I'm trying to say, this tool is designed for productivity. Means person like you who have no idea, within a couple of hours you will learn. You don't have to memorize anything because there are a lot of books available, a lot of materials available. The only thing you need to understand. And always I call what you are doing, why you are doing. The why part has to be very clear. Now, many of us don't even think, we just use our hand. We just type and run and run. It works. Has no meaning. Why it works? Why are we doing? Because if you understand why, then you can use this skill and apply for different domain. Mistakes people make is often I have seen, they only focus on doing homework, but they don't know why they are using this library. What's the benefit of that? And sometimes it's kind of important, but they miss that. Second thing, anytime when your limitation means you are not able to get into detail in the sense of some topic you're not understanding, try not to open the hood and try to understand engine, transmission and all. You are going to go in a black hole. So I always keep it high level. The reason I keep a high level, because I never knew how iPhone use a picture. There are 3 cameras. I never knew. I just use picture. Certain things we don't want to go in detail because you're going to be lost. And that's mistakes people make. I want to understand everything. I can give you guarantee. No one understand everything. No one. Because if you go in deeper, you will be lost because we need to go wider. Wider in the sense of more library knowledge is better than one library knowledge. Panda, you can spend whole life. That deeper you can go. But most of the things what Panda offers, you can learn in a couple of days. Sounds good? Any questions so far? So far, so good. So now let me go down. I think we are going to learn machine learning, and machine learning required library. And these are all popular libraries. One is kind of conceptual. So there are a few concepts are there. I'm going to go high level just to make sure you understand the concept. While let's do one thing, while we are explaining the concept, we can download the software. So let's click on it. So when you click on it, it's come here. Now, the way I have done, it's called free download, right? So we are going to do free download. So when I do free download, it start giving me this concept. Did it start downloaded? Not, we can give any email. We can give any email like that. Okay, you don't have to give correct email. It's up to you. Now it start downloading. So now, did it start downloading? Not yet. It should download.
Should I use my real email address?
No, it should download. Yeah, it should start downloading. Skip here. Okay, here you go. Skip registration. Now it's downloaded. Yeah, skip registration. Let me repeat. There is a button here. Skip registration. And then I skip it. And then I have Windows. So I'm going to download Windows 1. So you can see I have Windows 1, right? And if I Mac one, so if you download and you have options here, you can see here the link. So I'm going to click on this one. If you have Mac one, you can download accordingly, but I have Windows 1. So I'm going to click on it. It may take a minute or two to download. Let it download. Meantime, I can start explaining the concept. Are you guys good with the download part? It may take a minute or two. Once you download, you have to go to next. You need a high-end machine, by the way. If you're a very old machine, it might slow down. This has a lot of libraries. It has a lot of capability. So right now it's downloading. Now, while it is downloading, I want to take some time and go over this video. So first, some concept we need to understand because we'll have a quiz tonight. So I'll not play the video whole. I'm just going to go the concept. So first concept is whenever you do data analysis, right? There are concept
separate folder from your inbox.
There are concept called classification and regression. So let's talk about. I'm going to give you the concept so you will understand. If you know X, you can predict Y. That's called linear regression. So example, if I know your education, I can predict your salary. Or if I know your house space, I can predict your heating bill. Or if I know the quarter, I will tell you what sales you will make. Or if I know weather, based on that, I can say how many people will purchase like winter coat. So knowing one factor, you can predict other factor, linear regression. There's another concept called clustering. So clustering means it's kind of classification, but a little bit both. In there, you're going to do smaller cluster grouping. You're doing grouping. Classification means you do separation, but here you are doing grouping. So when you do grouping, means you kind of find out something common, and based on the commonality, please see on the screen. Based on the commonality, Eric, it's important that you pay attention. Based on commonality, you kind of see who are closer to the center or closer to the center, and it creates a circle and that create a cluster based on certain things commonality. So if anything is kind of like example, if I pick a common, let's say education. So what will happen? It will pick education, let's say 12th pass, associate degree, bachelor's, master's, PhD, like that, and then it create a cluster automatically. So good, this is right, very, very interesting. So cluster will give you opportunity that if new data comes, based on the data and based on available cluster, we can say where you will belong to. So once I know that, then I also know what is the commonality of this. So I can predict and tell this guy what you may like and what you may not like. Netflix use that. Netflix use cluster in order to provide you recommendation. So when you are watching movie, Netflix provide you product recommendations. And that's what they use, clustering. Like in case some of you are driving car and you are saying, hey, you need a maintenance. So that's a cluster, 0 to 30,000, 30,000, 60,000, 60,000 to 90,000. They cluster and say, you know what, 100,000 cars in that range mean this maintenance, that repair. And then they provide you that type of recommendation. Even doctor does that. Doctor will say, at this age, you need to do this type of lab test. That's the cluster, right? Because most of the people in that age group have this kind of problem. To prevent the problem, doctor use that type of technique. So clustering technique, we are going to learn algorithm called K-mean. Remember this word, K-mean. K-mean algorithm gives you clustering. K-mean gives you beautiful way to create a cluster. I'll show you with the example. Again, try not to go in detail, you will be lost. Our goal is to get the data and say create a cluster. And that's what we will do because you want to learn. And then you can say who are closer to each other. So you can learn that. But how K-mean works, for that you need a mathematics degree and much more deeper knowledge, which I don't think you need. Why? Because why to open the hood when I can drive car without any problem? Why to go to calculator inside when you can do calculations? So for us, try not to go inside it is a black hole because many people do PhD on that, right? We don't want to go that level because there is no benefit of that. Knowing deeper that much, there is not much benefit. As long as you know how to use it, good enough. So if somebody asks, which techniques did you use for clustering? Your answer is supposed to be K-mean. So far, any questions? Good. So by time my machine might have downloaded the software. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to download folder and see if I have the software downloaded, which is called Anaconda. Anaconda is a free software and depends on your machine and speed and space. It may work or may not work, but this is the one we use often. I love it because it comes with a preloaded library. Anaconda is one of the great software to use. Okay, going to happen. That's called supervised. Unsupervised, there is no person controlling. Everything is automated. So there is a machine involved. So when somebody says machine learning, or they are saying AI ML, E stands for artificial, I stands for intelligent. They're mostly focusing on unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning means there is no human aspect. The supervised learning, you are going to tell that this is the apple and this is the mango. Right? Mango, you kind of educate. So now you're educating computer program. So program gets instructions from this person who is expert. Now, you as a customer or data, you send some data. Data, when you send data, the program will say, wait a minute. I was told there is an apple here and I have mango. So you are sending me apple. Oh, you are sending me mango. But let's say you send, suppose, orange, program will not be able to identify because this was trained. This is called trained. Your program was trained by an expert. So trained program can only perform whatever you train. But in unsupervised, the program itself is learning. So like example, you are sending, program doesn't know anything. So let's say you are sending. So program doesn't know anything that is apple or mango, but what it program can say based on shape, color, and size, it looks like this one will go here and this one will go here. So what will happen? Every time you send, it will define grouping for you, but it doesn't know what it is. So now the program is going to ask, what do you call this thing? So you say, this is apple. So next time you send it, that program will say, this is apple and put it here. Then if somebody send mango, program says something like this you're sending. What do you call? So you say, hey, this is mango. So it will say, this is mango. So this is called our program. Our program is taking feedback. Our program is taking feedback from you that, what do you call? So if you say you are enriching the program. So machine learning, machine is learning from the data. So you know data is coming. So similar data is put it in one label, but doesn't know what it is. We call label. It doesn't know what to label that. So it will ask, machine will ask, what do you call? And you say, this is apple. Then machine will learn. And eventually machine will learn so much that it will be accurate. But early stage, it will be very incorrect. But later on, it will be accurate. These type of algorithm right now heavily used in self-driving car. Because in self-driving car, what happened? They have algorithm, but anytime if machine is making a wrong decision, the driver is going to correct. So the machine will learn. If this is the situation, I need to take a left. This is the situation, I need to apply brake. So this is the way machine learn. I give you guarantee. The way Tesla is right now, using this unsupervised learning algorithm, the self-driving car concept, I think two companies, Google and Tesla, both are using. What will happen very soon? I will say very soon, doctor will use this thing and they will do surgery. Very soon, McDonald's will use that and give you McD. Very soon, there will be a driver who will be using. Very soon, Robocop will be there. It means all cab driver or Uber driver, which we call, will lose jobs. Very soon, all cashier will be, what you call robot. So what I'm trying to say is, in next 5 to 10 years, if I'm not wrong, you'll be surprised. Human will be surprised, will be working under robots. Trust me, the way it is going. And the best example is ChatGPT. ChatGPT has proven that the machine learn very fast. ChatGPT is actually supervised learning. They are creating significant training data. Significant means we are talking about entire world data they are training to the program. So whatever you ask, it has a knowledge, and it has a much knowledge that hundreds of thousands people collectively cannot generate that data. They are doing that. Now what they're using this machine. Please understand, this machine, the unsupervised learning, when it doesn't know, it use this concept, ChatGPT concept, and try to learn himself or herself automatically, it's automatically. So now the machine is getting more capable. Supervised learning, you have full control. Unsupervised learning, machine learns automatically. So it is possible car will talk to car, machine will talk to machine, house will talk to car, because the way they talk, they are machine, and machine will have their own language, just like human has language. Ideally, Tesla's person say that there won't be any car in accident because car will say, I'm about to hit, and both car will stop. So what a wonderful world will be. However, there won't be the human driving. The car will be driving. And that concept is called artificial intelligence. Artificial means no human. And intelligent means brain, right? Knowledge, decisions. So the world is coming that way. I'm scared to. So in case you are not, I'm scared to how the world will be, but we'll be the witness. Trust me, we'll be the witness. Initially, people thought from supervised learning to AI learning will take 20, 25 years. But this time duration is now reduced to less than few years. So I'm very excited at the same time nervous because this is going to give you tons of opportunities. So like now, as you go further in data analytics world, if you know this concept, you can come up with a lot of utility. Like example, right now I'm teaching, right? And you're calling me. I need a human who can pick up the phone and all. What if I have a robot who pick up the phone? Then I can turn off and turn on what message I need to do. That will do perfect job. Now you say, but how robot will answer that question? Very simple. Majority people call us for 4-5 reasons. Maybe training, maybe staffing, maybe services, maybe exam. So I train if these questions are this. And whenever I'm not providing answer, the machine will call ChatGPT, learn it and provide the answer. And then it will generate a report, what areas I did good and what area I didn't do, and I train it. So this way, very soon, we call virtual advisor will be strong. It means I don't need to hire admin person. Similar thing, if I need to do lab or exams or quiz and all, I can have repetition, any repetition task, I can outsource to robot. So this is going to happen. For you, this is going to be tremendous opportunity because if you are training the machine or you're coming with the utility, you will make a lot of money. But this is not an average person job. Let me repeat, this is not an average person job. This requires skill. And that's why you are learning this type of library. Any questions so far? Good. So let me see if the software is still installing. Let's take time, let it complete. Let's continue further. I'm just touching the surface so you all understand. So we talk about that. Okay. We talk about supervised learning. And these are like different use case, market analysis, semantic clustering, right? Different analysis type of thing people are using. Now we talk about like you label. This is like a supervised learning versus unsupervised learning. You provide label to the model, and then new thing comes, it will automatically identify just square or triangle. That's called supervised learning because you are the one for training the model. Unsupervised learning, you're not training the model. So we talk about that. This is a clustering. So you define a cluster and then it will create a cluster. K-mean is very popular algorithm. We're going to talk about it. And this is the regression. So regression means best fit. If you try to do fit, if you try to do best fit, which is what, when you do line, it's very important that line should touch all points. But if it is not touching all points, it's called underfit. And if you try to touch as many, you call optimal, and this is overfit. Again, these are different algorithms. You don't have to worry about. Another algorithm is called decision tree, right? You can do decision. So supervised learning has regression and classification. You can classify supervised learning. Remember that supervised learning, regression and classification. Unsupervised learning, clustering and association. Clustering means grouping, right? Small group. Association means very interesting thing. Association means if you are going to superstore, then you buy milk. At the same time, you are going to buy bread. Same time, you're going to buy egg. So this is called association. Association means at the same time you're going to buy. So that's why Amazon, when you buy something like example, if you buy TV, they'll say, you know what, you also need TV stand. By doing that, you can sell combo, right? So example, you go to a house and you buy house. Then say per house, you may need insurance and you may need a furniture, you may need a rental car, rental truck. So this type of thing, you can predict based on one item, you know what you're going to buy next immediately. So this is the reason whenever you are, let's say, registering for the college, you will get a credit card because you know the college students need credit card. Or whenever you have renting apartment or buying house, you will see necessary flyers or something which maybe look like, you know, someone is reading your mind. That's called association. Association means you buy one item, you buy other thing. Same thing. Amazon made a lot of money, around $24 billion by creating association. They call, if you buy one item, you're most likely going to buy this, and they give you combo discounts, or they call creating a combo packet for you. Again, very important algorithm. Next one, we talk about regression. Regression is like for prediction, and you know one, you can identify other. Classification, like you can define cold or hard, but you can't say what percent cold, what percent hard. You're not predicting, you're just separation. So classification, will it be cold or hard? That's all. But regression, you get a percentage also, you get a more precise thing. And there's another concept called correlation. Correlation means how they work, X and Y, how they work together. So example, if I study more, I will have a higher grade, right? So if I study more, I have a higher grade. So that's called positive variation, means more study, more grade, right? If I work very hard, then I make more money. So working hard and making money is positive correlation. But if I take a lot of nap and eat a lot more, so let's example, if I'm taking more food, right? If I take more food, so more food means I'm going up, right? Taking more food, but my health will go down. So that's called negative correlation. So example, if market is going up, if marketing going up, then education industry goes down because people don't want to study, because everyone is in the stock market and have fun because they're going to get a job faster. But if market goes down, then education goes up because now people are worried that how am I going to find job? So that's called negative correlation. So second thing, if Microsoft, if Republican comes, right? If Republican comes, then technology stock goes up. If Democrat comes, then other stock goes up. Something like example, technology segment does good. If technology segment does good, then Microsoft will do good, Tesla will do. So that's called positive correlation. So correlation shows like a strength. One means perfect correlation. Perfect means one means if one segment I know the other segment confidently, but close to 0.95, close to 9.95 to 1, you can predict confidently because it is closer. But if your correlation, which sometimes we call R square, if your R square is let's say less than 0.5, let's example 0.2, 0.3 or 0, means no relation. No relation. I can't predict, and there is no relationship between these two items. So correlations will give you strength. It will give you strength. What kind of relationship we have? We are strong or not strong. We have positive or negative. So it's very important, positive or negative. And if it is closer to 0.95, then we have positive, means strong relationship. We can predict one factor. Knowing one factor, we can predict another factor. So it's very important. Any questions so far? Seems like search Spyder. And if you can see the Spyder, just click on it. Click on Spyder and get started. So click on Spyder. And when you click on it, it will open up. Give me thumbs up if you're able to open Spyder. Good, very good. Very, very good. If your machine is supporting, you will be able to open a Spyder. It takes a lot of memory because data analysis software will take lots of memory. Spyder will take a lot of memory, but it is bringing all the libraries available to you in memory, so you can use it. Now, while we are going through that, I'm hoping that all of you are in my forum. In case if you're not there, I'm going to put a link in the chat. So please, please, please be in the forum so we can start doing labs. So now my Spyder will open. It will take time because you can see my machine is crawling. Once it starts, it will be fast. Okay, now let's go further. So we talk about Panda library. It has a lot of beautiful capability, which you may like it. Data related things is there. So right now, if you are old-fashioned type of computer, then you may need to install like this way. If you are using ideally, you need to do pip install Panda. And if you are using pip install matplotlib. But this is all coming along with the Spyder. So we don't have to install. But if you're using any other IDE, right? and you say, no, I don't like this one, I want to use that, then you may want to install this library. If you don't install, you cannot do work. So then you're good. My machine is right now struggling. So far, so good. Good. Now, in case if you are, like example, by default, it creates temp.py. Every time I would save the file. But if you want to create a new file, you can click on this and you can create a new file. And every time when you do, you may want to create a new file, or you can highlight and run a particular program. I normally do that. I highlight and run a particular program. If that works, and if I want to protect, I'll create a new file. So you can create a new file using this and then save. And good news, when you open this IDLE, when you open the IDLE, all things will be visible. Okay. Now,
what does it mean? What does it mean if the new file is grayed out?
it means which one is grayed out? Means this one? It should not be gray out because
The third icon is grayed out.
it means you already saved it. If it's grayed out, means you already saved. You have to make a change and it will enable. So if you change like that, it will enable. Only way, like example, let me show you. If I save it, it will be grayed, right? There is nothing to change. But if I space it, it will enable that. Simple, right? Whenever you are making change and say, hey, did you save it like that? If you already saved, then there's nothing to save. That's why it's gray.
Thank you.
Now, all of you come to the forum. We are simple, easy things we are doing. It's NumPy, just to give idea. So in this exercise, we are saying import NumPy as NP. As NP means this is shortcut. Please pay attention, don't lose me, shortcut. So you are saying NumPy, I will talk to you as an NP now onwards. Now I say NP dot array. Array is nothing but list of values. So you in parentheses, you are giving a list. Okay. And you say, hey, this one store as a array. So we are storing as a array, as a list. Now you can use anywhere, like if I say array 0, means you're taking the first item. Say array 1, you're taking this item. So what I'm trying to say, how do you interact with array, right? So first let's copy this thing, this portion, Control C, copy this. Make sure you just follow copy, paste, and paste it here. These are warm-up exercise, very simple exercise. And then you highlight it and run this one. Make sure you understand. When you highlight this entire code, and then you run this one. So when you run this one, it will show up in your console. Okay. So now you click on it and play it and check it out. So it will show you that your console will show you that you have an array, and from 0, if I do, that's the first item, 1. So I got 1. So if that's the case, if I do 3 here, what should I get? If I do 3 here instead of 0, if I do 3 here, what should I get? So if I run it again, I'll get that, right? The beautiful part about IPython is you can also do directly here because your program is in memory. So you can say print array, right? Array, let's say 2, and your program is in memory, so you don't have to run again. That's the beautiful part I like about IPython, because once you run it, right? Once you run your program by selecting the play button, then your program is in memory now. Now you can interrogate. So you can write a special command 2, 3. You can interrogate. So now you don't have to rerun again and again. That's I like the most. Give me thumbs up if you're able to run the program. People on phone, awesome. We are doing warm-up exercise. Once we complete the warm-up part, we'll go to interesting exercise. Okay, don't lose me. And if you're not doing this type of work, then there's no data analysis you're learning. Data analysis is all about data. Right now, this data is this. Now you say, but I'm not understanding. Why are we learning this? All right, this is just an example, guys. This is the example. If somebody give you Excel file, right? Somebody give you Excel file, your columns, yes or no? In column, that column is nothing but list. Yes or no? You have ID, your first name, right? Your email, you have order, your birth date, other things. So if you have this, each item will become a list. And if you want to read this line item, you're going to learn exactly the same way, because this is row 3, means the positions 0, 1, 2, 3. So This is the data, you're kind of baby thingy right now. You're just going through one column, then you go to multiple column like that. So you're going to go through that. So it's important that you understand why we are doing, because in data analysis, there are two words you must understand. Excel, which you see where your multiple columns, Excel, which you see where your multiple column, which we call data frame. What we call data frame. Data frame is nothing but Excel worksheet, Excel worksheet, which goes in memory. And there is another thing I want you to do. If you're only one column, if you're one column, that's called vector or list, vector or list, vector or list, vector or list. So right now, this is a list actually. This is a list. You can also have a list. You can also have a list like this, horizontal. So list is either vertical or horizontal. Vector means only one column. But what if you have more than one column? Like example, you have this thing. If you have more than one column, then it becomes data frame. So if you understand that, you understand 90% of concept. Don't confuse with data frame. Data frame means more than one column. That's all. Vector means only one column. If you're not understanding this part, you cannot work in any language, R or Python or any, because in data analysis world, these are $2 million point. Vector means bunch of columns, and data frame means data frame means bunch of columns, but vector means only one column. Give me thumbs up if you're very clear what I'm saying. Vector means one column or one row, one column or one row, and data frame means Excel. It's in memory, because once it comes in memory, then you analyze. There is no other way. So if somebody give you CSV file, and ask you read it, will you get a vector or would you get a data frame? Wow, so long. If somebody give you CSV file, you read that file, will you get a vector or would you get a data frame?
Data frame.
Simple, data frame. If somebody give you Excel and you read it, what are you going to get? Data frame. Make sense? 99% chances you will get data frame. So from data frame, if I want to read one column, then it's a vector. Second column is a vector. So from data frame, you can create a vector. And you have a bunch of vectors. Like example, I have name and I have salary. Two vectors. If I combine the vector, it becomes data frame. If you understand that, you can do anything. But many people don't even understand the difference between vector and data frame. I'm confused. Of course you are confused. You don't understand basic aspect. One vector, it's a vector. One vector is a vector. But if you combine two vectors, then it becomes data frame. You must understand that part. And if you understand, you're good to go. Good. So now, let's go further. Let's go down. I'm not going to do this part because that's easy. Now we come here. So in this one, we are using Anaconda, Spyder, and Python. We talk about here vector, and we talk about matrix. Matrix you will not need it because this matrix is more used by NumPy. You will be using data frame. Trust me, data frame. So data frame will be like this. And most of the area where we'll be spending time on data frame and vector. Matrix and list is very easy, but matrix mostly used for mathematical purpose. So you may not use matrix that often, but I can tell you today and next class, we'll be spending more time in data frame. In your project, I give you guarantee you will be spending more time in data frame and vector. So now this is the example. Please pay attention so you understand. In this example, we are using Panda library. We are saying now onwards, I'm going to say PD. So first I have two items, 1 and 2. So what we are doing is Tom, and we are saying 10. Then Nick, and we are saying 50. And Julie, we are saying 14. So these right now, if you see rectangle block, it means it's a list. So right now it's a list. It's a list. So we are saying PD, data frame, use this data. And now, because you have two items, I'm going to give name. First column name is name, and second column name is age. And now create a data frame. So it's going to create a data frame. Again, you don't have to memorize anything. You just need to understand. I don't memorize either. So this was a raw data. This was raw data. Using this command, using this command, I created data frame. Now I'm going to print data frame. So now it's going to print everything. Then if I want to get these things, then I can say data frame, right? Data frame, give me first column. So I can say, give me first column or give me first row. So data frame has two things, right? Row and column. So if I say 1, 1, please understand 1, 1. So 1 is the row. So this is 1 and column is 1. So I may get this one. But if I say data frame, give me 2, 1. 2, 1 means this is 2. Then I'll get this one. And if I say data frame, I want 1, 2. So 1, 2, 1 is always first is always row. So 1 and 2, 2 is the column. So I get this. So you should know how to fetch the data. We're going to learn it. We're going to see it. So it's easy. So now copy this. Copy this. Hash sign is nothing but comment. Hash sign is nothing but comment. I normally put a little bit space here and then add and paste my code. So highlight it. And now when you highlight, make sure you run the selected code. And the best way to run selected code is this one. Okay, make sure you run it and you will see that. Trust me, you will build knowledge. I know how to prepare a material where anybody can learn and easily do that. That's my expertise because I've been creating material such a way that anybody can learn and do it. The most important part is you do it and you learn. Anything you do is so simple. The heading came from here and here. So if I have a 3 column, I need to add 3 things because here I have 2 values. I add 2 columns. If you have 3 columns, I can add this. So you have to use your imaginations. Now, no one is going to teach you if you have 4 columns how to do, if you have 5 columns how to do, 6 columns how to do. You have to understand the concept. If it is 2 columns, we added columns 2. If you have 3 columns, that's imagination, right? So now your data frame. Now, most of the work you are going to do with the data frame. So how do we interact with the data frame? So let's see here. Now, if I scroll down, here you got the result, right? You got the result, data frame. Now we talk about correlation. Anytime you have positive correlation, it means both items. If X goes up, so Y goes up. So you can see here, if X is up, Y is up. If X is up, Y is up. Negative means if X is up, right? If X is up, right? Y is right. You can see that it's going down, right? X is up, Y is going down. So that's called negative relationship. And this is no relationship because I can't draw a line. Data are everywhere. So when data is distributed everywhere, then there is no linear regression. Linear means line regression. So value 1 or close to 1 is highly correlated. This data is not correlated. Correlated means they go along. They go along. Here in the third picture, data is not correlated. Please remember, sometimes in interview, people will ask, what is correlation means? So correlation give me hint. Correlation give me hint. Are these X and Y going along? If yes, then correlation value will be close to 1. If X and Y are going opposite, if answer is yes, it will be -1 or close to -1. If X and Y are going along, if you get a 0 or if you get 0.2, the answer is no, they're not going along. So this will give you hint. Should I predict using this value? So many times you need to consider correlation value. If value is coming 1 or -1, then going along with each other. If value comes closer to 0, then they are not going along. Make sense? Any questions so far? Now, let's see here in this exercise. Please pay attention. In this exercise, please understand, in this exercise, I have 2 vectors, age and salary. We are using Panda and we are saying, hey, I'm going to call you PD. So you have two vectors. Now you're saying, hey, I'm going to create an empty data frame. I'm going to create an empty data frame. And now in that data frame, I'm going to add these 2 columns. So you can check it out. We are adding 2 columns. So we are saying, hey, I created a data frame. I'm giving a name of my column and I'm going to push my vector here. I'm going to name my column and I'm going to push my vector. So now data frame has 2 vectors and I'm printing it. So this way you can build your data frame. Now if you scroll down, there is a one command called correlation. So what we are saying is, hey Panda, I want to know, is there a relationship between these two items, age and salary? If age increase, does salary increase? Is there a relationship? If yes, give me correlation value. So if your value is 1 or -1, then it give you, yeah, you have a relationship. If it is coming closer to 0, then there is no relationship. So let's try it. Highlight this, Control C up to correlation, and go back and paste it here. Create some space here, and then highlight and run. And seeing the value, tell me, do you have relationship or no? What do you guys think? Do you have relationship, yes or no? Highlight and run. And see, do you have relationship, yes or no? Age and salary. So age is this one, and salary is, do you see relationship, yes or no? People on phone. Do you see relationship between age and salary?
Yes.
Yes. Very simple, yes. Why you say yes? Because this value are closer to 1. Make sense? So salary and age. Did you run it?
Yeah.
Then you should see that. Yeah. So salary and age are closer, right? But you can't compare age and age. Age and age are 1, right? They are same. So it will be always 1. And salary are 1. But age and salary, you can see 0.9, right? Now, just for learning purpose, please understand, for learning purpose, I'm doing here, let's say learning purpose, just I'm removing 80 from 1 here, just an example. I'm removing here, let's say 0, and I'm putting here 30, just for learning purpose, sorry, 30. Learning purpose, just want to see. So I changed some value. I made it 0 here, I made it 30 here, I made it 120 here, like that. And here, maybe I make it 12, just an example. Now, if I rerun again and see here, now, do you have relationship? Yes or no? I changed some value.
No.
Clearly visible. So this way I can say, oh, there's no relationship, right? Age and salary. So what did I do? So basically it's not going along, like 10 to 100, but 20 to 12, it means suddenly the relationship is not predictable. If I draw graph, it will not be straight line. It will be somewhere here. Make sense or no? This axis is age, in x-axis age, and here salary. If I plot the graph, it will not come straight line, means it's going to be random. That is the prediction point 1. The first thing you need to see the relationship. If there is no relationship, don't make decision, right? So question is, how do I know? You have to experiment it. Now my question, $1 million question. You ran first time and you saw this thing. Can we make a conclusive decision that there is no relationship between age and salary? Can I make a conclusive decision that there is no relationship between age and salary? Or should I do something else? So Nardos, what should I do, my friend? You're absolutely right. I cannot make conclusive decision. So what should I do? What does common sense say? What is common sense says? No, I would not use the word outlier. I would not say outlier. Let's say Nardos, the first time you met me and I was very angry. Can you make that I'm an angry man all the time? No. So you have to observe me. You say, man, that day he was angry, but overall he's a very nice guy. So whenever you have this type of thing, you should have a question. Try more data. Try different data. And these are called experiment. These are called experiment. If all experiment proves there is no relationship, then we can say yes, there is no relationship. But this one is called doubt. I have doubt. There is relationship may not exist. But in order to prove, you have to try different data, different day, different time, different day, month. You have to try different data. And if all experiment you consistently get no relationship, then you make a conclusive decision that there is no relationship between these two data columns. Are we clear? Give me thumbs up. Else. So this plot graph will tell you like that. If you are clicking somewhere, if the values are different, the data is there, then you don't have linear regression. It means you don't have correlations. Correlations will not be strong. Pretty easy. Yes or no? Any questions so far? You see my circle? You see my circle plot? Yeah, you need to. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, if you can do plot that, if you scroll down, you will see something like that. You can see, you can now copy this 2 line, copy this 2 line, and we'll change the last 2 line. Or we can put it that also, we can do multiple graphs. So we can do that. So here we are saying, I want to show age in a histogram, right? So this will create a histogram. So you can run again, highlight again, you can have 2 graphs now. And you will see 2 graphs. And you can do one by one. You can see nicely you have graphs. So you can create a histograph quickly. Just if you have repeated value, histograph will be very helpful if it is a repeated value. So you copy this 2 line and then run again everything, right? When you run again, you will see on this side, on the plot side, you see all your graphs visible. So if you have lots of data, please understand, when you have lots of data, this is just an example. If you have lots of data like this, then histogram will be very helpful because histogram create a cluster. It create a cluster. So it create a cluster like that. Depends on some value, it aggregate and say how many value repeat in this range. So like example, 0 to 10, how many value repeat? 10 to 20, how many value repeat? 20, 30. So that this one is a frequency. So it's kind of a nice way to summarize your data. So if you have a large volume of data, and if you want to summarize, histograph would be wonderful because it can give you the cluster. So cluster means grouping. Cluster means grouping. You can say 0 to 10, this many frequency, 10 to 20, this many frequency, 30 to 40, this many frequency. So you don't have to do a lot of bar chart. Bar chart will take each item. The difference between bar chart will take each item and try to draw graph, which is very hard to read because if you have a million item, bar chart will try to do million. In the histograph, you can create how many split you want, and then it will create the split and it create a plot for you. So histograph is wonderful to summarize large volume of data. So if I have elections data and I want to know county to county, then it's a cluster. It's a histograph. I can create a county, county-wise county. What is the elections or what is the completion rate? Make sense? Let's do one more and we'll take a break. If you scroll down, we have same exercise, but a little bit differently. So let's see here, same concept. We have Panda, we are going to name as a PD. And we have plot, we're going to name as a PLT. These are nicknames. So we're going to use that. Now we have 3 vectors. I'm hoping you're clear so far. This is vectors. And this vector I'm going to combine and create data frame. So if I go down, there's a data frame. Please understand, data frame you create, and then you are saying, hey, I'm going to label this and then use this one and use this label, this and use that. So basically you are creating data frame from given vectors. Now you're coming here and say, you know what, this comment means I commented all, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you go down, I'm saying, hey, I'm going to do pie chart, but I'm going to use age and labels will be name. So in pie chart, I'll give a name label. So this one will come the original name, and names comes from this vector. So we have name, right? Like this. So right now, copy this and see yourself. So you will understand what's going on. So copy this and create some space. And you can see nicely, highlight it and run. Make sure you highlight and run, always see on the screen so you will understand your highlight. So when you highlight this thing and then you run it. So when you run it, you get this answer. Please understand, highlight and run. And here you go. So the pie chart takes total and then original value divided by total. So first person Tom get 10 divided by the data. First thing we need to download the data. So I'm going to show you something from where you can download the data. So if you scroll down a little bit, you will see here this Panda is very powerful from reading data. So if you want to read CSV file, we can say data.csv, and then the command is pd read csv. It will create a data frame. Now this data frame is nothing but all the data will be in Excel form. Once you have that, you can say drop NA. NA means anything is empty, it will drop it. So if you want to like anything, like example, any particular line is empty or particular thing where you see like they're null, it will drop it. And then you can print what data you receive. Reading CSV file, very simple. If you have to read Excel, there is a similar thing. PD is nothing but Panda. Panda has a function to read the file, which creates a data frame. If you scroll down, it can also replace the empty. So if you have empty file, see here, you read the file, and if you have empty, so if you say, hey, if it is null, I want to replace this 130. This is the default value. Again, you can write whatever you want. So if you have file has sometimes empty cell, you can replace with some value. So you can do that also. If you scroll down, and if you have particular column you're replacing, so example, you read this and you have column and column has empty, then you can say fill empty with 130. So you can fill all, or you can fill particular column. The column may be calories, and you can replace empty column with 130. This is just an example. You can replace with 0, you can replace with anything. I'll show you with the example. So far, so good. I'm explaining theory, and then we'll do the exercise. Any question with respect to how Panda reads CSV file? So far, so good. We'll do exercise, but just understanding the concept. Now here, this is the average, which we call average, mean, and median. So like example, I read a data file, and there are a couple of columns are there. One column is numeric. In this column, I want to find out what is the total, what is the average. Average is nothing but mean. What is the median? What is the mode? Like that. Now you say, I have no idea what is mean, median, and mode. Now that's why I'm always expecting you to take my Thursday class. I know many of you are taking that, and many of you are not taking. The Thursday class is also educating you this concept, which we talked last week only, this week only. Anyone who is taking data analysis course, they take Thursday classes. Not all students who are taking Python class may not take, but let's understand mean, median, and mode quickly. So mean means, like example, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, I have something like this, or 5. Then mean will take sum of all. It will take sum first, and it will divide total. You have 5 values, so you can find average. So you will find average. So mean will find average. Mean will find average. Now median, which will order them, median will order this value, and it will start crossing the first item, last item. First item, last item. So it will give you the middle point. So median is very, very reliable. It gives you middle point. Mode, it look for frequency. If anything is repeated. So here nothing is repeated, so mode is not available. But if something like 2, 2 repeated, 3, 3 repeated, if anything is repeated, then mode will have a value. So please understand, mode will have a value. But mean, median, mean and median, you can easily find mode only if it is a repeated value. There is no repeated value, mode is not there. Now, in statistic perspective, most people use median because median is not sensitive with all numbers, because you cross out high, low, high, low. So you always find middle point. So median is very popular in data analysis, which you can easily find here. So check it out. You read the data, and there is a column called calorie. You can say mean. You can use the mean, median, and mode, and you can find the data. So if anytime somebody says summarize the data, you can easily summarize through mean. Mean is the function. So DF means data frame. And when you say this is the column, so what you're saying, this column is a calorie column. So you're picking the column in a rectangle bracket, you're writing a column name, right? Whatever column you want. And then you say what operation I want, mean, median, or variance, or standard deviations, whatever you want, you are calling with a dot, and then you write a function name. So you can get that. Now here, same concept, you do median. So same thing, if you see, you read the data file, data frame, and from there select the column and you do median. Here we were doing mean, right? Same apply here. If you do mode, in mode, if you're multiple mode, you want to take first one. So your 0 means first one, because it is possible many items are repeated, 2, 2, 3, 3. If it is repeated, then you have 2 modes. So this will give you opportunity to select the first one. So that's a mode. Now removing duplicate, which is very interesting. If you have like in a data frame, please understand, if your data frame, if your multiple rows are repeated like that. So if you do df drop duplicate, in place means in memory, in place means memory. So you are saying if there is an item which is duplicate, just delete one of them. So it will delete one of them. So duplicate will be removed. These are very important for data cleansing, because if you are working on data, there is no point to have duplicate data. We talk about correlationship and we talk about regression. Correlationship will measure relationship between two numeric variable relationship. If X and Y has a relationship, one means positive, minus means negative. But if it is not closer 1 and 0, then you don't have relationship. Regression means you kind of have knowing X factor, can I predict the Y factor? Linear regression focus on line, which is called best fit line, which is the best fit algorithm, right? So now, first let's do a small exercise, but before that, I want you to download the data. Give me 1 second. I'll give you a data file. Give me 1 second. Where is my data file? Yeah, if you go down, there is a data file. If you go a little bit down, you will have a data file. I'm gonna put a link in the chat so it can be faster for you. But if you click here, there are a bunch of data I created for this class. So if you click on the link, if you scroll down, you will find data file. There are a bunch of files are there. So we will find this file. So check it out. If I click here, you will see lots of files. You will see lots of files. Give me thumbs up if you're able to see the files. Good, very good. Now, please understand, these files are a lot of files. So what we're going to do, we're going to click on download. So when we download, it will download as a data.zip. It will download data.zip. So when you download data.zip, what will happen? It will go to your download folder. And from download folder, we'll extract it. So it will create a data folder. And this data folder, we want to copy on a C drive. So we want to make sure in C drive you have data folder, because all my program is going to read from C drive data folder. I'm going to show you step by step, but please don't miss me, because sometimes basic things we are taking a lot of time. These are common computer skills, right? How to download, how to unzip, how to copy, has nothing to do with data analysis. This is a basic computer skill, and we want to make sure we understand basic computer skill, because if you in a real life, if someone knows that you don't know how to download, how to unzip, how to copy paste, you will lose a lot of respect. So it's very important that you understand basic skill. If somebody email you how to download, if somebody give you memory stick, how to use it. So those are the important part of day-to-day life, because data will come in a different form. It can be FTP, it can be a Git, it can be somewhere else. So how you get data is extremely important. So now I have a link. I'm going to click on download. As soon as I click on download, it's going to download zip file. So check it out. It will take hardly a minute or two and say, you know what, download. So I'm going to say download, and I'll say download without. So here, just say do this. You click on this link. So when you click on this link, it will download zip file. It will download zip file. And within a second, download will be done. So download is done, and you can see my circle of download is complete. So download is done. What happened? So this whole data files is now downloaded as a zip file, as a data.zip under download folder. So let's go to your file explorer. Go to file explorer. Go to file explorer and look for data download. Now the Mac user, you need to know where to copy, because Mac user will have a different path, right? You have like / user home. I respect Mac user, but they should know how to give their path, because they don't have C drive data. So I always tell people Mac user need to know how to change the path, because your path may vary different, but your path will be user home download or something, whichever works for you. I'm hoping you know how to adjust the path. But right now, I download data.zip. You just need to right click here and say extract all. extract all. So you right click and extract all. That will create a zip file to folder. So if you right click, extract all, and just follow this navigations. So just say next, 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 and extract. So when you extract, it's going to create a data folder. Now this is all Windows, so I'm hoping similar things Mac may have, how to extract the zip file. Now, once you see that you have data folder, what we need to do now, we need to copy this data folder. So you can right click and copy. You can right click and copy or do Control C, whichever works for you. So right click and copy, Control C, Control C. You can copy that. Control C, copy this whole folder. Copy this whole folder. Control C, bless you. Control C, right? Control C, Control C for copy. Go to C drive and do Control V, Control V, Control V. If you already have data folder, it will ask you, do you want to replace that? Say yes. So this will copy your folder. One more time, download folder has data. Download has a data folder, which you do Control C through copy that. Once you copy that, you go to C drive, go to C drive. Once you have C drive, you do Control V, V for paste. And it will ask you, do you want to replace? Answer is yes. And if you go to data folder now, you see a bunch of files. Give me thumbs up if you see a bunch of files, because these are the files we will be using for our exercise. Give me thumbs up. Because without this file, I cannot move forward. So it's very important. I should have that. Now, first thing I want to teach you is how to read CSV file. So relax and enjoy. So here I have one file which is called customer CSV file. See here, customer CSV file. I'm going to double click because it will open in Excel so you can see that. Always see, right? Always see on the screen, please. So you can see here customer CSV file. Double click on it. So if you double click on customer CSV file, you will see the real data. You will see the real data. So when you see the real data, so you will understand what we are trying to do. It's always a good idea to see real data. So I have two columns, CID and CNAME. So this itself is called vector. This is itself called vector. So two vectors together, we have data frame. So if I want to find out max, mean, I can only find out this column because that's a numeric column. But what if I have additional column? I have to use that column and find out that part. So in coming lab, we're going to do that, how to find that. First, we're going to do warm up and then we'll go back because there are certain exercises I need to go back, but I want to make sure you understand how data frame is being created from the CSV file. Any questions so far? Can I take an average of non-numeric value? Can I take an average of non-numeric value? I mean, city, state, name, first name, email? No. Do you guys agree or
No.
Can I take a max mean? No. So you have to observe the column has to be numeric data, right? So here we have. So now go back to my forum. We were here, right? We were here. First few minutes, we're going to play here so we can be comfortable a little bit because Panda is very powerful and I want to make sure you're comfortable before we go further. Can I count everyone is here? So that's why we can easily cut and paste. It will take 30 minutes to go over this thing, but it will be easier once you understand. Then we'll go back and start doing the certain extra lab. Give me thumbs up if you are here. Good. Trust me, this took me a long time to create this forum. I'm still working on that, but I want you to be comfortable because if you type, you will waste a lot of time and you make mistakes. If you follow the concept, then you understand. Then it's very easy for you to enhance. So now let's begin. So in this exercise, this is the whole thing is one file. Okay, let me repeat. So don't try to do something wrong. We are going to do step by step like this, step by step. We're going to like that. So you will comfortably understand. So first we are importing library and say, hey, we are going to do PD. Now data is our dictionary. It's our dictionary. So in data, we say it's a JSON, start and end. So we have starting and we have ending. And we have single quotation apple. That's will be my data frame. Sorry, my vector. So apple is my vector and it has a 4 value. And orange is my another vector and it's 4 value. But because I have 2 vector, this data I can use as a data frame. Give me thumbs up if you understand. Make sense? If it is only one vector, I can still create a data frame, but then data frame and vector is same. But here I have two vectors, and these are hard-coded vector. So hard-coded vector is for QA student if you are testing something, right? If you are testing something. So if you don't have a file, ideally, listen carefully. Ideally, this information will come from file. Someone will give you this file. But if you want to test out, can you handle two vector? Let's say tomorrow you want to handle third vector. So it's a very simple, easy level. If your first vector and then there is a comma, and there is a second vector. So if you want to have third vector, you're going to do comma, and then you add another vector. Can I add another four vector? Yes, absolutely. So these are way you can get the multiple vector in JSON file. And this one is JSON, you put it here and create a vectors. Now purchase, please understand, purchase has all these things. So purchase is my data frame. So if I say purchase, lowercase purchase, and if I say call rectangle bracket, and if I say here apple, I refer to this vector. If I say orange, I refer to that vector. And if I say mean, then I take the mean of this value. If I say median, then I will take a median. So basically first your data frame, then your rectangle block, then in rectangle block, you pick the column of your choice. As long as it's numeric, then you do mean and all. So we're going to learn that thing. So that's step by step. So copy only this portion, see on the screen. Copy only this portion. Copy only this portion, Control C, and then paste it. So when you paste it here, go to Spyder, create some space, and now you run it. So first you can be comfortable, you see that, and make sure you select and run, and you will see it will generate the vector. Right now I have not printed the vector, but I'm going to print it. So here I have this one, I have data, and I have created a vector. So there is no error. So you can see here, I don't have any error. And this is an interactive Python. So I'll say print purchase. Purchases, my mistake, purchases. And if you press enter, you will see the vector. Give me thumbs up if you are able to see that in interactive, because you can see nicely, you can do print. When I say print purchases, so you can see all vector. This one is called index. Remember this thing, okay? This one is called index. So what is index means? So think about that in a what you call in database table, you have columns, right? And then you have a rows. But each row has an index which is not visible, but it is there. So if you say, give me the first row, so you're going to take this one. Give me the second row, you're going to get this thing. So here, if somebody say, give me a second row, you're going to get this thing. If you say, give me first row, and this index right now is number, but you can also give a label to the index. So you can say here, please understand, you can say that this is Mary. Mary has 3 apple and 0 orange. And Eric has 2 apple and 3 orange. And Amy has 0 apple and 7. So you can create numeric thing. So you can use numeric index because you can easily follow that row, because it is possible. This is a person has apple 0, 1, 2, 3. You will not able to remember. So sometimes we label index. I'll show you that. But let's say I want to know only orange. So let's write here print, and make sure you write purchases plural in rectangle bracket. I'm writing here oranges. So oranges, rectangle bracket complete and parenthesis. So you can see here, you will print only oranges. So purchases, that's your vector data frame, and your vector is oranges, you put oranges, and you can see that. So this interactive will allow you to analyze what you want. So now if you use up arrow, you can get a previous command. And now I'll say I want to do mean. I can do mean, and I can see now, oops, it says, oh, sorry, no, my mistake. It should be inside, right? Because it's a print statement. So I'm going to do dot, my mistake, dot mean inside, right? So if you do that, now you can get the average, and same thing you can do mean, because these is your numeric values. This is a numeric value, and that's a dot mean, so you get the value. You can say same concept, you can do apply. Make sense? Inside mean. Because the previous one I end up in a print doesn't have this thing, so that was the error. You can use up arrow and you can bring the previous command. So if you want to know up arrow, you can get a previous command here, so you can save some time. Doing fantastic so far? Okay.
No, I
Okay.
am I'm using the print purchases oranges.mean, and I just get no, I get nothing.
It means you did not have a properly run command. Why don't you run one more time this command? The only way you get nothing if you have not run properly this thing, make sure you run properly.
Yeah, it
Highlight.
ran, that did run perfectly, but
Please
I'll
try
run.
one more time. Please
Okay.
try one more time. The reason if you get nothing, it means somewhere you made a mistake. So you may want to run again because it purchases has to come in memory in order to get result. So
Okay.
somewhere you lost the data. So you may want to run like highlight, run.
Yep. I ran it.
Now it should work properly.
And
Unless
now,
Mhm.
now can you, just so that I make sure I'm copying everything right? Oh, I didn't put the parentheses after the mean. Maybe that was it.
Mhm. Mhm. Good so far? Sometimes it's typical like a syntax. Again, as you use, you will learn it. The most important part, data has to come in memory. So what happened? This exercise is data, and this one will give you this data in memory. So the data dictionary, you're using it and creating memory. So you're not printing, so you're not going to get anything unless you use print statement. When I use print, I use the data frame, then I use column, and I'm using operation on that. And this is the parenthesis for print. Good.
Yeah, I'm not good, but we can,
Yeah.
because I'm just getting a null. I'm just getting null.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah.
I'm using that, and it's just
Yeah.
in my memory, maybe is something going on.
Yeah. It sometimes, again, I always suggest somewhere you are having differences. Make sure differences are eliminated. This one is storing data, right? There is nothing special here. You're
Right.
storing data, right?
That's
Once your data,
That's
once your data, once your data, let's try this thing one more time. Try this because it's not, if it is not working this, then it's something wrong. So just do purchases and see are you getting. If you're not getting, then definitely there is something wrong in your site.
Well, I don't get the, because it's like it's waiting on something, because I don't get the, how
It means your error. It means you have some error going on. It means if it is waiting, if you are dot, press 2 enters, sometime 2 enter or control C. Control
Okay,
C,
so
sometime you're stuck.
I just started all over and I ran it and I got I have the apples and oranges, I have the matrix.
Perfect.
And then you wanted me to just print.
You can do this way. Print. Yeah.
That's where I come up with my problems when I do that.
No, you have to type correctly. The problem is coming when you type incorrect. Like example, I missed the parenthesis, just an example. So now I'm here. You see, we create a problem by typing. So what we need to do is, are we typing correctly? So it's very simple to see. This is your starting curly parenthesis, but you did not close it. Now nothing will happen. So this one has to close. So if I do close, everything will work smoothly. So it has to be correctly typed. Always remember, data analysis is all about proper syntax. So like example, purchase we know very well, it works. Then orange we know very well, it works. Then dot mean it works. But this print has to have it. So if you are getting dot means you are making mistake in typing. Then press enter. And you get result. Sometimes if you are still error, there are a couple of ways you need interactive mode. So a couple of ways you can say is press enter, 2 times enters. and that might solve the problem, or sometimes you need to do Control C. Control C will also solve that. Okay? Now let's continue because we want to make sure you all get this. So here in this exercise, remember all exercises I have tested very well. So in this exercise, I'm going to create an index. So what is index? I want to say June has apple and orange. Robert has this thing. Lily has orange and all. So I'm going to create an index. So you will see what I'm trying to do. So why don't you do one thing? Copy this portion all together up to this. Make sure you select properly. Remember, this is your data, right? Here we are creating indexes. Indexes is nothing but just like row ID basically. So each row you are giving a name. What is this means? It's kind of very easy that way. So make sure you copy this portion, Control C. Now go back to your Spyder, give some space and run. Go back to Spyder and run now and see what you are getting. You will see now indexes, and that's a readable index, which is kind of nice. Do you see the difference now? Run the program. The initial example, you got this index, which was the initial, this one. But when you run this one, you got a now readable index. So if I say, hey, June, how many apple you have? You can now clearly say, because it's now readable. This one, this readable index is created because of you specify this index command. So now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is gone. Now your proper English. You just copy and paste and run. Do not type anything. It will work smoothly. Good. You're just typing, sorry, copy and pasting. Make sure you understand how it works. Without indexing, it says 0, 1, 2. You will not remember it. But like example, patient data, and you know the patient name, then you can give a name to the index. So you can say, Mike, get me Mike record. So you can easily get that record. Otherwise, you will not know what is the index of Mike, which is difficult. So that's why in a data analysis, we sometimes give a row index so that these row indexes are more in English. Okay. Okay. Now let's move on. Now, if you scroll down, please understand. If you scroll down, we are going to create something here. See here, we are saying to show all columns. We are going to set the operation because in your screen, some column will not be visible. Some column will not be visible. So like example, your 1, your 2 and 3 column, then it will do dot dot like that. So what will happen? It will not show all column. Sometimes you may have 20 columns. So it may not show all column. So this command, say expand frame repetitions, true. It means it will expand the frame. It means kind of nice. And if there is a further, it will go down. So you can see all columns. This is kind of nice way to see the window. So example, this window we are talking about. See here, this window, this is a tiny window. So what happened? If you have more column, it's going to do dot dot and it will not show the column. But if I run this command, it will set. So let's run this command only. So you're not going to see the difference. So just run this command. Make sure you don't highlight this. This is not a command. This is more reading purpose if you want to read something. So just highlight this and go back to Spyder. Make sure you see on the screen and highlight only one command. You will not see anything. This command said that you will have columns. All columns will be visible. So you highlight and run this command. So what will happen now? All your command will show up in console. Otherwise, it will not show. Makes sense? You highlight and run this command. Now, go back to the forum. Now let's see what we are trying to do. Please see here. If you notice that in this previous command, I have set up index. This is June, this is Robert, this is Lily, and David. So now I can say purchases, that's my frame, lock means location, June. So get me June's data. So now run only this command. So if I run this command, interactive mode, I'm going to interactive mode and I'm pasting here. Interactive mode and I'm pasting here. And if I press enter, it says me 3 and 0. So if that's the case, I can use up arrow. I can use up arrow and I can say David, give me David data. See how nicely you can read the data now because your data is now readable because you have given English label to the index. So you can literally read what David has, and you can literally read what June has. So log command through, you can find out the detail, which is kind of cool. Make sense? Because you don't have to do, otherwise you will have to ilog. Ilog means index log, and then you need to 0, 1, but you don't know what is 0 means. But you know June means June, David means David. Make sense? Moving along. Now we are going to read, this is going to be difficult for Mac user because this is the path where we have stored our data. So we have purchases.csv file, which we just store it. So if I go back to my data folder, if you go back to my data folder, I have purchase.csv file, I have purchase.json. So double click on purchase.csv, double click on it. So you will see that file has this data. So purchase.csv has 3 columns. Do you see that? Say yes. You guys see that? Purchase.csv, I double click here, and I can see here that apple and orange, and this is the row index. So the row index. So this is the file we are going to read. We are going to read through CSV. Same thing, if it is JSON, we're going to read that. So I just want to make sure you understand how to read CSV file using Panda. It's pretty easy. Panda make life easy to read the data, analyze the data like that. So go back now. Here, what we are doing here in this exercise, we are saying, I want to read the CSV file. And now using read CSV file, you can get the TF. If your JSON file, you can, I want to read JSON file, and JSON file through, you can create a data frame. So please understand data frames can be created. They both are same. If you want to see JSON file, you can go to JSON here, this purchase JSON, and you can right click and open with Notepad. Open with Notepad. Open with Notepad. So say open with, click open with Notepad. Open with Notepad. So you can right click, open with, and select Notepad. Notepad. So you will see JSON file. You will see JSON file. Do you see that? Apple, orange, right? So this is like a pure JSON. So data frame is so smart to read the JSON file, right? It will read JSON file, it will create a column, and it get all data. Okay. So how to do so? Very simple. Just read this thing. So we're going to copy these 4 lines. Control C, copy. Always keep eye on my screen. Copy this thing. When you copy this thing, you now have this data frame in your memory. You go back and I'm going to run that. Give us some space here. You're reading first and creating data frame. So if you click here and run, only these 2 lines, you can see the data frame will be visible. And if you read these 2 things, exactly same thing, because JSON is also same. So you're going to read that. So this way you can read any data frame. Now you say, but what if I have multiple files? For part of your project, let's say you have a bunch of files, your customer data, just an example, customer CSV, order CSV, product CSV. Can I read all? So you can write customer CSV and create it here, customer. You don't have to write DF, you can say customer. And if you read here, order, and write order. So each is data frame, customer, order, and purchase. And then you can do merging, filtering, grouping, all kind of things you can do. So part of your project, if you have 7-10 file, you may want to create a data frame for each file and then play around. Some of you say, what if I have folder where you have hundreds of files? Do I need to create hundreds of files? Answer is no. You loop it. You can loop it and tell this Panda to read all files and create a one data frame. So you can create a one data frame. And this kind of thing make Panda very, very popular. So if you have folders, inside folder your files, Panda can read all files. So it's kind of neat. It's very easy. Any questions with respect to reading CSV file or JSON? Are you doing good so far? Okay. Now, yes, Alma, question?
Not really a question about reading it, but just in one of our previous classes when we were looking at when we were doing Tableau, when we brought in one file, there was an option that said, do you want to bring in everything? And that's also in this folder. Is that kind of the same back-end functionality that that kind of, made that option available? This same.
There are some filter capabilities available, which is called patterning. So you can say read only file, which starts with this pattern, or read this file, which has this extension. You can do that, but very limited. So if you don't, like example, if you have like thousands of files and one is customer file, one is sales file, and if you don't want to read customer file, then you have to write some custom program. So custom program means you can say, if your file starts with C, then continue, otherwise ignore. Remember in for loop, we have to write our own for loop to first read the file and then do that. So sometimes it may not be available by default, but it's very easy to do by writing some simple for loop, and you can do that.
Interesting. Okay, thanks.
Very nice. Okay, so this one is beautiful thing. This is my interesting, I love it, this one. So give it a couple of minutes so you will understand. And this is something make it easy for those who know database, right? So what happened? Sometimes somebody give you data file. Listen carefully. Somebody give you data file and say, you know what? Analyze. So Panda is smart to read data file, and Panda is smart to also run query against data frame. Wow, that's pretty cool. So please understand what I'm trying to say. Let's say your data is in MySQL. So Panda can read that file from MySQL, and when your table in MySQL, like example, your table and columns and rows and all you have, right? So Panda can make a call and get that table, entire table as a data frame. And then you play around and so it's pretty neat. So Panda has the ability to connect to the database or connect to the database file, read that whole table and bring into memory as a data frame. And then you can have a running query. So you can use your database skills in Panda. Check it out. So here we are learning SQLite 3. So this is like nothing but simple database, in-memory database. So here we are saying, hey Panda, SQLite 3 is a library, connect, and there is a database file available in this location. Now, these locations, if you're a Mac user, they have to change the location based on user, home, that's something like that. But this, so what you're saying, hey, SQLite connect. So when you connect, you get a connection. So this one will point to the database. So if your database, now you have pointer. So this one is just a pointer, connection. Now you're saying, hey Panda, read SQL query. That's a function. And you're writing a query. This is the query. This is your table name. So this is your table name. This is your column name. So you can see you're saying select start from purchases where Apple greater than 0. And then you're using connections. So the connection which you develop, you're using. So first, this is the connection. You're using the connections. And because connection is pointing to the database, then you're writing query. So this query is going to use connections. Through connections, it will go to database. It's going to read it, and it will generate data frame for you. Pretty cool. Yes or no? Pretty cool. So if you do not know anything, you can write a query. You can write a group query. So if you say select star from purchases where Apple is greater than 0. There are 2 columns, orange. So can I write orange greater than 0? Yeah. Can I write orange greater than 0 and Apple less than 5? Yeah. Can I do group? Yeah. Can I do having? Oh, any database command you can run. That's pretty cool. So sometimes people who like SQL more, they can use it. That's available. So beautiful concept Panda offers, which is called read SQL query. So copy this portion only. See on the screen. First, we are importing library. Then we are connecting to existing database. Then we are running query using that connections. And then whatever generated data frame, we are printing it. So run it and see that same data in database. So we'll put it in Spyder, create some space. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And this is a game changer, right? Because you can use your SQL command. Wow, that's pretty cool, right? So here you can see I bought Apple greater than 0. Let's say I want to get this thing. Who's going to help me? I want this thing. What should be the command? Help me. How should I get this output? What kind of select statement I need to write? Come on, help me, help me.
Oranges are greater than 1.
Man, so I'll say df1 equal to, I copy this line, df1 new data frame, right? Now select star from where apples, I want this. So apple is 2. Can I say apple is 2? Yes or no? Apple is 2, right? And orange, yes or no? Orange equals to 3. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
You say, how did I get that? Wow, that's a SQL command, right? We will be starting database class soon. As soon as this class ends, we'll start database class. So December 7th, right? Or 3rd, like whatever it is. December, when you do project, we are going to start Oracle class as an open session. So we'll bring more people in Oracle also. In Oracle class, we covered that. So this is the table name, and this is the where clause, and this is the conditions. So here the condition is apple equal to 2, orange equal to 3. So most likely this is going to come. And once my data frame is created, I'm going to print the data frame. So I'll say, you know what? Print df1. So this is the way you analyze. And now if I run this thing, you will see the result. And boom, boom, boom. Oops. Select sample apple equal to. So what is the orange? Spelling is incorrect. Orange is. Apple is apples. Look at that. I got the answer. Pretty cool. So if you know the applications, just like apples greater than 2 and orange is 3. And now you create a new data frame and you can get that. Any question, concerns, done? Right? Like sometimes people say, you know what, you want to analyze only 2024 data. Then you can say, get the data where year equal to 2024. Or they may say, get only analyze Michigan data. Then you can say state equal to Michigan.
Why do you have to do DF1? Well, because
the previous data frame has everything. This is the new data frame,
okay.
right? This is the new data frame. So you are using that data frame. If I use DF, then original data frame will be overwritten. Right? I want to protect that. I can use DF and I can use DF1. It's always a good idea to keep the data frame so you can reuse again. People on phone, are we understand? Are we understand? Good. Let's continue further. Now, this one is different. Please understand, we are now doing a little bit interesting thing analysis. IMDb, thank you, Sanova. So IMDb, which is everyone should know in case if you like movies, right? This is like one of the most popular website, IMDb. IMDb trying to capture movie information. So let's go to data folder and you will see IMDb, double click on that file. So if you file IMDb, which I found here, if you are able to find that, double click and see that file and see what you have. Please understand, Panda is your life. Panda is your life because it has a lot of goodies. So if you see here, I double click the file, IMDb, and you can see I have a bunch of movies, right? I'm not sure you like any specific movie, but I love movies. So if you have any recommendation like action thriller movie, most likely I might have seen that, but in case if I have not seen, you guys can let me know. You can say lots of movie. Please, chat, I'm hoping you are enjoying so far because this is your real data. Now you want to analyze this thing. How would you analyze? Right? That's what we are going to learn. So we are not learning baby thinking. We are learning case study. This is called case study. But I'm slowly taking you through there. You're understanding how to read data frame, you're understanding index, CSV file, SQL. So you are learning step by step. Trust me. This concept is simple and very, very easy. When you spend like 2 or 3 days, you will learn Pandas. But the 2 and 3 days, you have to use imagination. Many of us, we don't use imagination. Even myself, when I was starting, I was more focusing on doing rather than why am I doing it, right? That why part helps me to understand. So now we want to understand this thing and we want to analyze that. So now let's begin. So here, what we are trying to do, please see here. Here we are saying, hey, look at that. We're going to read CSV file and we will say index column is title. So index column is title. So what that means, it means I have title that every row will be identified with this thing. Just like we remember we did John, we did David. So each row we are identifying with title. So when I say Sling, give me Sling data, I can get that. Or if I say, give me this thing, I can get the data. Line, then I can get the data because I'm using these column as an identifier of the row. How do I do that? Very simple. You are saying that index column is known as a title. So when you read that, your data frame, when you say head, normally when you say head, you get like a, first 5 rows or 3 rows, depend on, I don't know what is the configuration, but normally in R, you get a first 5 row. But if you want to say 10, then you're saying, hey, get me first 10 rows. If you say 2, 10, so get me the last 2 rows. If you say info, it means say, what are the columns I have? What are the columns I have? How many rows I have? What type of column I have? I want to know about it. So let's get started. Let's copy this thing. Control C, copy this. Control C, copy this. You guys are doing fantastic, okay? Don't lose me. This is very, very easy. Trust me. When you do it, you will learn it. Every exercise is different. Spyder, create some space. Now, you paste it here and run it and see yourself. Make sure you run selected and you will get the data. So when you run selected, right, you highlight and run selected, right? When you run highlighted selected, you get data. So now let's see one by one. So if you scroll a little bit up, the first thing you are saying, hey, I read this file. So you ran this command. So it says here, please understand, you ran this program. So you ran this program. So it says that I have index data frame. So you're printing df head. So it gives you some record. I think it gives you 5 records. How many records it gives you? So it gives you by default df frame. So we started df frame. So it gives me 10 records because I didn't give that. I think it gives 1 record. I think it should give me 1 record. Let me run only this one. What is giving me? I want to check it. If I just do head, yeah, it gives me just this thing, 1 record. So head give me 1 record. You can see that I'm running 1 record head. But if I say head 10, it's going to give me 10 records from that file. So if I run 10, it give me 10. And you see dotted line? Do you see the dotted? Do you see the dotted? Say yes or no. People on phone, do you see dotted? No one is saying.
Yes.
Thank you. So this dotted is a problem. To solve that problem, remember we said something? Remember I shared this one. So we're going to put this one again one more time. Check it out. Give me a second. Let's try. Let me try this thing. This is reset. I'm going to try this thing. Give me a second. I like to experiment it. So here, I'm going to remove this now. So it says max columns, df column size. Df is this one, right? So I have to change df to this one, right? Now let's see what it's saying. Oh, it doesn't like multiple keys. That's it. It says assuming df is your data frame. So in my case, my case, that's fine. So max columns. So what is trying? Pattern match multiple keys. Pattern match multiple keys. See here, if I run this thing, let's say, I didn't like that. Options, 1 second. Display max column. Display max column. It's not just a max column. Okay, let's see. That looks good. Same, so it's working. You got it. Any questions so far? Head, tail. Tail means last 2 records. So if I run this one, you're going to get last 2 records. So if I just highlight and run, I'll get 2 records. And if I say info, it can give me my information about my data. So how many columns I have, how many rows I have, like that. Any questions so far? Good. Moving along. So here you go. Now check it out. We are saying we're going to plot it now. So here you can see import mat. Oh, sorry, I kind of switch it, right? I was ahead. Sorry, my mistake. I had to go back. So we were here. Now we are saying, listen carefully. We are saying shape. When you run shape command, it will tell how many rows you have and how many columns you have. So example, if you have like this type of data frame, right? It will count how many rows you have. And it will also count how many columns you have, which is kind of nice. This will give me idea how many rows and columns I have. Then I'll say, hey, data frame, drop duplicate line. And then again, I count how many shapes I have. It means row and column. So if I remove duplicate line, do you think row will increase or decrease? What do you guys think?
It's going to decrease.
It will decrease. And that is what you all need to understand. So let's start it. Copy this thing, Control C, copy only this portion. And you will know how to remove duplication. So anytime you want to remove duplications, you just, you have this thing. I hear this command. Please understand. I'm using original data frame and I'm appending the same data frame. So I'm creating by default duplication. Do you guys agree? So whatever record I have, I'm taking that and adding another thing. So I will have a shape which is double. I will have double row. Then I'm doing duplication, removing duplications. So it means anything is duplicated, remove, and my shape size will be original. Okay, so check it out. So first run these two commands. So we'll see what happens. So now, oops, with append. What is that? Data frame object has no attribute. Movie DF. I think I have to bring this thing back because I was playing around. So let's see this thing. Run. Said data frame does not have append data frame. They removed it. Are you guys getting error?
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah, I got the same thing.
Okay. So now I have to again search. Why did they do append? Why append is gone? 1 second. That was working command. So now we'll say data frame. Sorry, Python Pandas, right? We are doing Pandas. For Pandas, why data frame append? I want to see it happen. Did it remain? So it say, oh my God. Oh. However, append is now deprecated. Deprecated means concatenate. The recommend way to data frame concatenate. Oh, got it. So Google is the best thing in the world. Do you guys agree? Yes. So do concatenate. Now run it. See, this is going to happen. The command was working. It's going to say object has no attribute for concatenate. Oh my God. So what is going on here? Google is saying that. So now let's see. Alternative. See, they are saying append. And okay, look at that. See how they do? This way they do. Concatenate. Okay. We'll do that. So this is what they are saying. You have to do. My mistake. They are saying you use Panda concatenate like that. So just give me a second. I'll help you. So Panda. So in our case, PD. Do you guys agree? So in our case, PD, concatenate. In our case, it's a movie DF, which is this one. First one, movie DF. And then second one is also movie DF. But that's the rectangle block. Okay. So what I'm going to do, so here, it's a concatenate, and then parenthesis, then rectangle block, movie DF. So click on that and comma, movie DF. I'm going to zoom in, okay? Don't worry. So if you see carefully, it says use a PD, then concatenate, then original data frame, a new data frame in a rectangle block. So this is a rectangle block, original data frame, new data frame, right? And this one, I want to create the same thing. So here, my things are proper. So it will create a TM. So now I don't need this thing. Now I'm going to run this thing and see if it works. And it did work. into 2000. I'm going to put it in chat. So in case some of you are having problem, see if you guys give me thumbs up if you are able to do it well. Right? PD stands for Panda, concat. And then this is rectangle block. This is the data frame. This is data frame, comma separated. So what happened? This is 1000 and 1000. So now your shape has row and column. So you can see carefully when you run this command, only these 3 commands. When you run this command, it says that you have 2000 row now and 11 columns. Now I'm going to run this command. So if you run this command, it's going to remove the duplicate. And if you run this command, it will show you 1000 because you remove the duplication. Give me thumbs up if you're understanding. So original you're 2000 because you did duplicated. Then this command, drop the duplicate and you are now 1000. So what I'm trying to say, data cleansing. It is doing data cleansing. Any duplicate value can do. Interesting? Yes or no? Now try not to memorize anything, just understand. No one is going to ask you how you do. The only thing you say, yeah, in Panda you can duplicate, drop duplicate, something like that. You don't have to remember identical commands, but concept is important. Okay, moving along. I have to change my form, which I will do. Don't worry about it. Now here, please pay attention. Here, yes, Amma.
I'm sorry, can you go back to your screen? I was trying to follow along with what you pasted. I just want to compare what I got and make sure I'm good. We should have gone from 2000 to 1000. Is that?
Yep.
Okay, I did it right then. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, this is this command. We already did. Now, please pay attention. If you want to get column, you can just do this and you get a column. So how many columns do you have? Just run this command, highlight and run this command. So we will know all columns. Please pay attention because sometimes, it's simple but powerful. So you can get all your columns. So in your data frame, how many columns you have, you can see that. Sometimes you want to rename the column, right? So if you highlight and run the command, you get a column. But this one helps you to rename the column. So you are rename column. So this is the runtime. This is the original column. This is the original column. And you want to now do a new column. And in place true, it means in memory. And then you run the column command. So copy this two. Control C. So here, if you have a column which you don't like it, you can change that. So if you run this command, so before you run, I want you to see here what is the original column. So this one, original, it shows you the command is runtime minutes. That's the original command. So what it says here, please understand. It said this is the original runtime command minutes is original, and this is the new name. And this is the run revenue millions and revenue million. This is a new name. So you are changing two columns. So this one and this one you are changing. And once you change it, you are going to print it and see it. So rename columns, you can do that. So now highlight these two and see if you can have new name. Give me thumbs up if you are able to do so. So you can change the column name. Good. These are very useful things. You may now believe that sometimes people give you like example as a L. What is SL? It's not descriptive enough. So you can say change to salary. And so original name, new name. And then you can rename that. Now you are going to do where clause. So just like in database, you do where clause, right? Where clause. So here you do where clause. So see here, please pay attention. Movie DF, that's your data frame. Please pay attention. Movie frame is a data frame. You're saying rectangle. In rectangle, you are saying movie frame, go to director column. Movie frame, go to director column and equals and find this director and show me all records for that director. Show me all records for that director. Are we understanding? Show me all records for that director. So please understand. This exercise gives you go to movie original data frame. From there, go to this column and then check Randy. If that show me that data. So you're filtering. So you can copy this and paste it here and see if you guys can run and see, you will see all the data for that director. So you can see, you can filter now, you're analyzing. I want to see data for this actor or this director. Make sense? Now, you say, how do I know director? Director is a column. So you're using column. So if you have, let's say, example, in your case, salary, then you can say greater than 2,000. And less than this, you can do all those beautiful things. And here is another one. So check it out. Here you are saying your original movie frame, go to their rating and show me all movies which are 8.6, head 3, only first 3 movies. Show me only first 3 movies. Wow, that's pretty cool. I like that. You guys agree on? Nice command. Again, as I said before, everything in my forum you have, just use it. Take advantage of it. Right now, you can see you have all movies, which is a pointing rating is 8.6 above, and all movies, but you're only getting 3 movies because you say, show me only head 3. Life is good, right? Awesome. Now moving along, let's do complex. Here, we are saying, hey, go to movie director. It has to be Christopher Nolan, or this one line means or go to movie director, it should be this, and show me head. Head means only one, first one. So basically, these are all exercises about how to filter the data. So you're going to go here and you're checking or command. Or command means you have one director and another director. So if you have any one director, show me. So you are using or, so you can get the data. Head, I think, gives you original, I think 10 data or something. So you get those data. You're not getting all, you're just in head. But if you want 3, just specify 3, then you get first 3 rows. This one is or. Or means show me first one or show me both. So you get A1 and B1. So A is the Christopher Nolan and B is ready. You're going to get data. Pretty cool. I hope you're able to do it. And same apply for a lot more other activity. Just you can see here, I get a lot of activity here. So example, see here, movie director is in, same concept, the same command here, is in, this one or this one, and show me that. So same command, but I like this one, check it out. This is very complex. So you're saying movie DF, movie year is 2005, and movie DF is less than 2010. So you are using and here. So you're giving condition 2005 to 2010, right? First the condition is there. Then you are saying rating has to be greater than, this is the and also, so another condition, another and, right? So you are saying that this and quantile. So here, less than 25% quantile. So if you copy that and run, it gives you data. So this kind of things you will be spending more time generalizing.